This next video is one of the most important in this series. The title here is Widgets and Apps. So many Shopify store owners are led to believe that widgets make their websites ADA compliant and stop lawsuits. They do not. Overlay widgets only render superficial adjustments, which may or may not help with accessibility, and very importantly, do not fix the underlying code issues. This is what we are so concerned about. We want to make sure that our website is actually accessible. Widgets, despite what you may have heard, can actually increase the likelihood of you being sued. So some plaintiffs' lawyers specifically target stores using overlays or overlay widgets because they know the website owner is mistaken. They know the website owner has taken a shortcut and they're under the false impression that this widget takes care of everything. And as we will see, plaintiffs' lawyers routinely disregard overlay widgets. So in this next slide, I just have a screenshot of the Shopify App Store. So you can get a widget. And when you think of a widget, just think of the accessibility symbol that's usually in the bottom corner of a website. And when it opens up to a menu of options and settings. This doesn't actually make your website WCAG conformant. It doesn't make your website accessible. Someone can select one of those options and that will render a superficial adjustment, but that's not actually making your website WCAG conformant. And again, plaintiffs' lawyers routinely disregard these widgets, but you can get a widget in the App Store. You can buy one from any number of vendors. There are so many different vendors selling accessibility widgets. All right, continuing on. Widgets do not remediate your Shopify store. It does not matter if they claim to use AI or whatever technology they say is being used. It does not matter. Widgets use JavaScript to apply a superficial adjustment. Plaintiffs' lawyers, again, disregard overlays and overlay widgets. And the reason I make that distinction is because there are custom overlays. So custom overlays are better because then the adjustments are made specific to the website, but it's still not enough. You don't want to use an overlay widget or an overlay. All right, continuing on. Here we have a screenshot from a complaint filed in court by a plaintiff's lawyer, and I'm going to read through this. Although the website appeared to have an quote-unquote accessibility statement displayed and an quote-unquote accessibility widget plugin added, the accessibility statement and widget plugin, when tested, still could not be effectively accessed by and continued to be a barrier to blind and visually disabled persons, including plaintiff as a completely blind person. Plaintiff, although he attempted to access the statement, thus was unable to receive any meaningful or prompt assistance through the accessibility statement and the widget plugin to enable him to quickly, fully, and effectively navigate the website. This has been stated in different ways by so many plaintiffs' lawyers. We've just seen this over and over again. So again, people are buying widgets because they think they're going to stop lawsuits, and that's not the case. And so here we have a thumbnail from one of the YouTube videos where you have someone who's in the Shopify space, and he's speaking to accessibility. And here we see him with a puzzled look on his face, and the thumbnail reads, "Avoid Shopify ADA lawsuits." And so if you click through the video and watch it, the whole time he tells you just to use an accessibility widget. This does not work. This person does not know what they're talking about, but there's some type of commission or partnership, or it's an advertisement, whatever it is. He's promoting an overlay widget. And as I just showed you, this overlay widgets do not stop lawsuits. This has been shown time and time again. There are so many snippets you can look through where plaintiffs' lawyers disregard widgets. So this is part of the reason that widgets persist, is because there's so much bad advice. And there's also such a marketing push because overlay widgets are extremely profitable. But again, they don't actually remediate your website. That's what we are looking for. We are looking for genuine accessibility, not superficial adjustments. All right, so continuing on, widgets and apps. One common theme that we see is the marketing language never is definitive. So if you pay close attention and you actually look for specifics and the tangible point where they state, yes, you will, this absolutely makes your website ADA compliant, or this makes your website WCAG conformant, you can't find that. The marketing messaging has been massaged to make it more gentle so that they don't actually completely state that this widget or this app or this plugin or this toolbar, et cetera, whatever they're calling it, is going to work. So you might hear more accessible. You might hear helps with compliance, or helps protect your website, or supports WCAG 2.2 AA, all of which is marketing jargon that ultimately means absolutely nothing, because when people are purchasing these widgets, what they're looking for is to resolve their problem. But it's not being resolved. And in fact, it's going the other way. It's actually providing negative value because, as I just showed you, plaintiffs' lawyers are disregarding the widget. So you're really paying for an increased likelihood of being sued. And so it's so important that you are aware of this. And all too often, we've seen over and over again, people are insistent upon having a widget and they just don't know what the widget actually entails. So I will provide some resources to you on this right now. You can go to overlayfactsheet.com. This is an independent website that has really documented this thoroughly. You've got testimonials, you've got really endorsements from all sorts of accessibility professionals, as well as people with disabilities, just stating over and over again very clearly that widgets do not work, do not use widgets, we're not recommending widgets, this is a worst practice for accessibility, etc. You can also search for FTC widgets and find out about deceptive marketing and messaging used by widgets. You can also read complaints, read the fine print, search for any widget you want, plus complaints, plus Reddit, read organic discussion on this. There's a lot of marketing push, and a lot of times that's the first thing people come across, and you see so many, with the marketing push, you see people like the person in the thumbnail that I just showed you, who is in e-commerce generally, but this is not what he specializes in, and he's promoting this widget as stopping lawsuits. But all too often, right, we see website owners with widgets installed, and they are nevertheless sued. So if widgets really work for accessibility and stopping lawsuits, I would not be making this video. You can install a widget and be on your way, but this is not the case. So read the complaints, read the fine print on the part of the vendors, look at overlayfactsheet.com, search for FTC widgets. There are so many reviews that you can read from accessibility professionals. So it's so important that you're aware of widgets and apps. I absolutely recommend that if you have a widget installed or you're using some type of accessibility app, go ahead and uninstall that. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. We will continue on with the next.